Fuck, they're throwing shit at the coppers. Look at that. Look at that, they're throwing shit at the coppers. Get him! Whoa! What the hell, man? Whoa, whoa, whoa! 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 Shit!
Australia is exploding. Aussies are rising up like never before against their nation's draconian lockdowns. In this video, we're going to take an inside look at the Patriot uprising going on as we speak throughout Australia. We're going to see how even Australian police are beginning to join the protesters. And stick with me to the very end of this video when I'll reveal how Australia is just the tip of the iceberg. The entire world is quite literally rising up and fighting back against what they see as a pandemic prison over their lives. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Stevie with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your daily fake news antidote. As each and every day, I provide patriotic analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Protesters in Australia have flooded the streets of Melbourne over the last several days, demonstrating against their nation's utterly draconian lockdown orders. Police ended up firing pepper balls and stinger grenades in the swarms of protesters in the streets of Melbourne. If you don't know, Australia recently surpassed its 233rd straight day under stay-at-home orders. And Aussies have absolutely had it. And so the streets of Melbourne erupt into chaos as more and more Aussies are coming out and pushing back against their government's never-ending overreach. Now, the protests that have been erupting of late are being called the construction protests, okay? And this is because the protests began with construction workers in Melbourne who are rising up against the vaccine mandates that are being imposed on Australia's population and the ongoing draconian lockdown. Construction sites have been one of the few industries that have been allowed to work during the pandemic by Australian authorities. But now with this whole new Delta variant, that's coming back to, in effect, haunt construction workers because they're now being seen as possible super spreaders and they're now being targeted for mandatory vaccines and they're not taking too kindly to it. Take a look at this. This is a massive group of construction workers blocking a highway in Melbourne in protest against the government's vax mandates. They flooded the Westgate Freeway, stopping traffic in both directions, in yet another sign that Aussies have simply been pushed too far. And so construction workers are rising up, and because courage is contagious, we're seeing more and more people rising up as well. And so the police, as you saw earlier, have been forced to crack down. For example, chaos utterly erupted at the Shrine of Remembrance in Victoria as police began shooting tear gas at protesters who gathered at the shrine to demonstrate against their government's draconian policies. Hundreds have been arrested, and the world is just watching this with a stunning sense of disbelief that scenes like this, dystopian scenes, are coming out of a nation like Australia. Now, the mainstream media, both here in the United States as well as in Australia, the mainstream media, they're doing everything they possibly can to try to shift the blame here. So, for example, it's now becoming commonplace to blame the uprising on Australia's version of January 6 insurrectionists, what the leftist activists disguised as journalists at the Washington Post are calling far-right activists. You'll see this in Australia's media coverage as well. This isn't an uprising of the people. No. Don't think that. No. This is the far-right insurrectionists engaged in yet another assault against democracy. I mean, it's so Orwellian. But unfortunately for the Washington Post and the mainstream media as a whole, even the Australian police have had it. Check this out.
When I witnessed that, wasn't I just nice to you before and said you could go to your house?
What sort of gun is that?
We've had enough of this as much as you do, Pat. Just go home. All right? Otherwise,
If you've had enough as much as us, why are you still enforcing it, boys?
You have to.
No, you don't have to.
This is what, listen, we're not here to argue with you unless go home. Otherwise, they start issuing tickets.
Bro.
We don't want to do it, but we will do it, right?
Well, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Stand up for what you believe in rather than
Please,
paycheck.
just go home, all right? We get paid to do this, mate. I'm just as over this fucking protest as you are. By protest, I mean lockdown, all right?
Fair enough,
unfortunately,
man. Fair enough.
I've got to do what I've got to do. And
You
that's
don't,
why I'm
you
here
don't have
trying
to
to
do
talk
that.
to you.
You don't have to do that. You're choosing to do it for
I'm
a
not
paycheck.
skilled to do anything else, mate. So unfortunately,
Mate,
at this time of my life,
Mate,
that's what I have to
and
do.
the people of us that aren't skilled, we don't get paid. We're not getting food at the moment.
I hear you, mate. My wife's in the same position. She's out of a job at the moment as well. I understand you've been pissed off about it, but there's a way to go about it, that's all. And unfortunately,
I feel
punching on with coppers isn't it, mate.
I respect that. And I feel like it's like an animal's backed into a corner. We don't want anything. We don't want to attack. We don't want any of this.
You might not, mate.
You keep pushing us, and that's where we're all at. We don't want to do this, but we're having to do this because we cannot see our families. People are killing themselves. None of this has to do with health. What health has to do with is exercise, fruit in the sun, not injections. Okay? Mental health affects physical health. You're locking us indoors. People are killing themselves. It's not to do with health.
I don't have time to get into a debate about it.
I know, because you need a paycheck. It doesn't matter what I say, because you're getting paid at the end of the day and you've got guns.
Look, at the end of the day, I agree with you.
Then why are you standing on this side and not with us?
Because that's what I get paid to do.
So you agree with me, but you get paid to do that, so you stand on that side.
Why I'm trying to talk to you the way I'm talking to you, as opposed
Exactly,
to...
because it's not, you're doing what you're getting paid to do, not what you stand in, and that's why I disrespect you.
That's fine, and I'm still asking you to go home, please.
Yeah, get your paycheck so you and your wife can eat. We won't, but you can eat, so...
We're not going home, we're just walking?
I know, hey, we're not going home, we're not listening to your orders anymore.
I'm just letting you know, we come back again, you're all going to be arrested.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. We don't, if you can't tell, we're not afraid anymore.
Did you hear that? The Australian police are saying, look, I'm effing done with this whole thing too. But this is my job and I'm not skilled to do anything else. Gang, they're starting to lose the police. And then what happens? I mean, the Australian government is really coming close to being effectively shut down and all. The citizens are more and more putting the government in lockdown. I mean, when even the police are beginning to admit that, you're freer in North Korea than you are in Melbourne, I think your days are numbered as a government. You want a symbol of that, by the way? Take a look at this.
You're a fucking pig! Fuck off, you pig! Move!
The cop literally retreated when the protest refused to stand up. I ain't moving. That was amazing, gang. That's the symbol. That is the symbol of what's happening here in Australia. When the people refuse to back down, they're unstoppable. Just ask the Soviet Union. And this is just becoming par for the course with populations all over the world. I did a video that you will definitely want to check out on the massive patriot uprisings going on all over the world. I'll make sure to link it down below for you in the pinned comment section so you can watch it after this video. It's going to give you so much encouragement. It's going to pump you up. Remember, we are not alone. We are not alone. The world is rising up. And we're seeing that uprising now begin to flood Australia in response to their government's draconian lockdown measures and its vax mandates. It's absolutely amazing. So obviously, we'll be keeping our eyes on how things develop here in Australia. But it does look like Aussies have had it. They've been pushed to their limits. And they are joining a growing chorus of patriots rising up all over the world to restore their lives and take back their freedom. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out that video. Watch that video on the world exploding over vax mandates. It's going to absolutely inspire you and confirm that you are not alone. It's going to absolutely make your day. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.